So, when I was 21 years old and already the mother of a 3-year-old son, I came across 2 quotes that have served to have had a really profound effect in my personal and professional life. I was a student at college. I was actually a student at Metro State College. Yes. And the first quote is actually from African-American author James Baldwin. It says, "The purpose of art is to lay bare the questions that have been hidden by the answers." Yes. That really speaks to me. It really frames my belief that the culture is the cure. That the culture is the cure because it provides us an opportunity for an astute assessment of society through our creative process. So I think about it a lot. I talk about it a lot. The second quote is from educator and artist Tony Cade Bambata. It says, "The role of the cultural worker is to indeed make the revolution irresistible." Lofty task. I'm thinking maybe I could get around to that at some point. Maybe I could work it out. I don't know. But today I want to share with you my vision for sustainability. One that is in celebration and honor of humans' capacity to retool, to remember, to reconnect, to rethink and reconstruct. And I'm thinking that, we have all of these abilities to do these things, but we don't think about the fact that the higher consciousness piece around it is really about a strategic call to action. And so today, my call to action for you is to grow. Thinking about all of the pieces that means and all of the things that have been said and shared on this stage tonight. And I'm thinking that we are all here together on this planet. We're here in our towns, in our cities, and then we are like really close together and then yet so disconnected from one another still. We don't see that we are like, what's in it for me is that we're all in this together. We still don't get that. And so we say things to each other like, "Oh, no, you're the social justice activist, and I'm just a regular person," or "You're the role model," or "You're the artist, and I'm just a sister trying to make it through. I'm just trying to get by." And so we separate ourselves, and then we start pointing fingers. Yeah? We say things like, "Oh, he's the addict," or "She's the felon," or "She's the mother on public assistance," and it's those people. Those people, they're the reason why I don't feel safe in my community. And then we think, well, really, these are all just excuses for us not to come together. So what I would like to do is to offer up a connector, a conduit, something that we all have in common. So I want to offer up, in the tradition of our African and indigenous ancestors, the pouring of libation, the pouring of water. Can you cue up the video for me? Thank you. So, since I came out with all this stuff, I thought I'd try to bring out all of these things together. But I want to talk with you about the pouring of water. We pour water to honor those who have come before us, those whose shoulders we stand upon. They paved the way for us. They did it so we can do it. They encourage us, yeah? But then we also pour a little water for those of us who are here, right now, doing our thing, doing the best we can do. We pour a little bit for them, us. And then we pour some more for those who are coming next, those who are waiting in the wombs, waiting to be born, waiting to come and follow up on the work that we leave for them, on the planet that we leave for them. So we pour a little for them too. And we pour the water because it is our connector. It is a thing we all have in common. We all breathe through it in our mother's wombs. 60% of our body made up of water. 70% of this planet covered by water. So when it all comes down to it, when we think we're disconnected from each other, maybe every time you see a glass of water, from now on you will remember that we are actually the conduit for one another. And when we pour the water from one vessel into another vessel, we engage in the eternal flow of birth, life, and death. And so in that action itself, we are in a place, in a divine place, where we grow healing and hope, not just for this generation, but for this next generation. That's my granddaughter, Celestia. when she was 1 day old. She's now 1 year old. So, is this symbolic? Yes. Is it real? Yes. Let's talk about what else is real. What I have found that is real is that we have made people and problems in our community invisible and silent. We don't quite see it. Let's take, for example, the school-to-prison pipeline. This is a system in which disproportionately targets youth of color and youth with disabilities. It moves these people, these children, from the school system into the criminal justice system. Even in some states, they use the third grade reading scores to determine how many cells are going to be built in the private prisons right in our backyard. They actually use those. And what is the idea? The idea, of course, is that if you cannot read and keep up in the system by third grade, then this pipeline is eventually going to dump you right into the prison industrial complex. So is that real? Or is that false? I'm just saying. So now after I have raised 2 sons in my very urban, gentrifying community, I've had to endure police brutality. I have watched the community park, the neighborhood park, where generations of Little League football teams have practiced, has now been turned into a dog park. I have watched the schools in my neighborhood close down and then be redesigned, remodeled, and sold for $1 million lofts in the hood. Yeah, in the hood. So I'm just saying, while I can, probably imagine that this is being designed and even defined as growth, right? We need more. It is not at all an example of what we're talking about today, kind of our upcycled vision of growing. Because when we grow, we stretch. When we speak, we share. When we go forward, that is how we grow justice. And furthermore, the delusion, this idea that, the solution to our educational ills will just materialize if those young brothers on the corner would simply pull up their pants and stop sagging, right? That's a delusion. That's not real. And I have a son who loves to sag. That's his thing. And he might pull it up. I think he pulled it up maybe 1 inch just so that he could be in here with me tonight. Because I'm like, dude, quit sagging, really, for real. But I'm just saying, when we cultivate and speak out and make people and issues visible, that's how we grow justice. So, being the food justice activist that I am, I would be remiss if I didn't talk just a little bit about our need to reconnect social innovation with environmental stewardship and economic sustainability in our community. Yeah? Part of that right is about the practice of growing our own local organic food, having access to it, and then having the ability to create opportunities to make money from it at every step of the game, from the growing of the soil by composting, to the sale of the harvest, to the cool foodie restaurant in my gentrifying neighborhood. Just saying. So I just have a little confession. I'm gonna wrap up this grow invitation thing, I promise. I tell you I will. You promise not to tell anybody? I am a riot baby. It's true. Ever heard that term? Riot baby. Yes, let me tell you, I'm born of the generation of the civil rights movement, the women's rights movement, the anti-war movement, the migrant farm workers' rights movement, and now the gay rights movement. I'm just saying that at every given moment there is a protest or an uprising going on in my whole childhood, and apparently we still have that going on. And so my parents, while they participated in a lot of that movement, so that my sister and I would never have to dirty our pretty little hands, I am also the proud granddaughter of farmers and sharecroppers. Grandfather on one side who didn't learn to read until he was 70, grandmother on the other side who went back to college at 65. So I'm just saying that we are the generation that gets to uplift and elevate the position of the grower. We are the generation that gets to say, you know what? In this place of consuming, where we are most celebrated and most challenged, that we begin again and start at the root. So in closing, I would ask for you to return with me. Return to the first two quotes, well, the only quotes, I guess, for the evening for me. To Baldwin and to Bambara, where they talk about the role of art, the purpose of it, and the role of the culture and the cultural worker in community. And I would ask for you to get butt naked with your truth. Lay bare the questions. See how you move in community. And then I want to formally ask you to grow with me, to try with me, to grow food, to grow careers. Because when you do that, you're not only just growing hope and humanity and health for this generation, we actually together have the opportunity to grow true community, harmony, and compassion. That is indeed the vision for sustainability. That all of the places and where we come together, there's one thing that we will find out when we meet at that glass of water. That the culture cures, but also that we are the people that we've been waiting for. And what you're going to find out when you get there, when you get butt naked, you're going to find out that the revolution is delicious. It's delicious. Thank you.